Many of Alaska's towns are named after people who first settled there or made a big discovery, like Palmer, Seward, or Juneau.
But that is not the case here. In fact, Anchorage was named by the federal government. Laurel, how did that happen?
The federal government decided they needed a railroad, a way to get the resources from interior Alaska down to Seward to get them south. And so they had plotted a plan for building a 470-mile-long railroad. Well, that brought a lot of people to this area because they set up a place along Ship Creek. Since it was kind of a deep creek, ships could get in and had been getting in to deliver supplies and things to mining communities as well as a few of the supply settlements.
So all this planned infrastructure, it brought a lot of job seekers to the area, but it also brought a lot of problems, like lack of housing for one.
Hundreds of job seekers came up and pitched tents down on Ship Creek on the flats. Well, yeah, it did bring a lot of problems because you only had the Cook Inlet tides to wash away some of the waste material, shall we say. And so the Alaska Engineering Commission's surgeon said, we can't do this any longer. We have got to move this settlement or we're going to have people getting sick like crazy. And so they sent engineers up onto this flat part here that we're standing on, 4th Avenue, and they plotted out streets, which is why we have those really imaginative names like A, B, C, and 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Avenues.
So while this is going on to develop what we now call Anchorage, it still officially hadn't been named yet. When did that happen?
In July of 1915, they had a land auction, and so the businesses applied for their land, and they brought their buildings, and they threw up some tent structures and log structures and cut down trees. All kinds of stuff was going on. And it occurred to them during this time that they didn't have a name, and so they decided people should be able to vote on it. And so they had an election. Well, names that were proposed were like Wynn, Alaska, Alaska City, Matanuska. You had Lane, who was the Secretary of Interior at the time, as well as Brownsville, which was in honor of some of our first residents that were in a cabin over on Government Hill. Well, the election was held, and the first choice was Alaska City. The second choice was Lane. Third choice was Anchorage. So they didn't vote for Anchorage initially, but what happened was the federal government, the U.S. Post Office, had arbitrarily already named it Anchorage. And so that's how we came up with our name.
On accident.
On
so
accident.
Okay.
It's quite fitting, though. I couldn't imagine this being Alaska City.
Yeah, Anchorage has a ring to it, and it certainly feels right.